Hello, and welcome to A Few Minutes with Marvin. I inspire those who aspire to make positive changes in their lives. Welcome to part three of What is Spiritual Awakening? My journey. My journey started a long time ago. I had been awake a long time, but I didn't know it. And at some point, I think that my soul chose to just experience life and the many different aspects of life before I would fully come to this point in my life. And even within the last 10 years, I had some inklings, but they were coming to me in the forms of the paranormal, things like that, things that we were being fed through the television, what was popular. Um, those things started to resonate with me many years ago. And I looked at those things, from a different perspective because I had some feelings. Um, so, at one point I wanted to be a ghost hunter because, I could hear things in the middle of the night, and I thought I'd be great for those shows, but that was not to be. I did apply for one, but it didn't come to fruition, and I'm glad that it didn't. That was not my path. But yeah, as young as probably 5, 6, or 7 years old, I had a feeling. I had a gut intuition. Um, I knew that I was different. I had a feeling I didn't belong, not just with my family, but on Earth. As crazy as that may seem, um, but it was true. I just knew, and I guess you could say that I was a black sheep in the family. I didn't follow a lot of the paths that were laid in front of me by my parents and by um, the the political situation at the time or the religious situations that I was in. I just didn't feel like I fit in, even in school. I chose to excel in school, not to prove I was smarter than anybody, or I felt that that was my way out of where I was, and I don't have any regrets about how we were raised. My parents certainly did the best they absolutely could for us, and they gave us a lot of love. So for that, I am thankful. But I just knew I didn't belong, and I just started. I would question everything, everything. Um, if it just didn't resonate with me, no matter how old I was, it just didn't, and I wouldn't allow it. I wouldn't accept it. I just didn't accept things as they were, as I was told. You know, do as I say, not as I do. Those words never resonated with me because it really felt inauthentic to me. I didn't trust that what they were saying was truth. So, from an early age, I just decided to um, dive into school and learning. And I didn't read a lot, but I did. I just listened a lot. I became a very good listener, and I would often find myself in positions where I didn't belong there, but I was there for a reason, and I was meant to listen in on those conversations and be in those specific places at those specific times. And through all that, and I was a hard worker. I just always had a work ethic, just because I thought that was my way out. In all those instances, I just carried on and just decided to experience life and all that it brought with me. I went to college. I experienced everything there with the drinking and interacting with so many unique individuals and having the time of my life and having the highs and the lows that went with that, and going back home and dealing with my new self, because I certainly was doing things that my parents would not have approved of. I chose to keep those things to myself out of respect for my parents and what they believed. So in a sense, you can say I started to live a, a separate life, one with my family, and valuing them and respecting them, not believing what they believed, but respecting what they believed, and but just living a double life outside of the family. And some of my siblings knew and some didn't, but it wasn't about that. But at some point, it became a game, an ugly game, and I decided that I wanted to be a part of every game. Climbing up the corporate ladder any way you can. Um, Not deceiving people, but working very hard to get myself into positions so that I can, learn more and be an influence. Um, and just, I just got involved in a lot of things. I wanted to be the jack of all trade and master of none. And I did that pretty successfully, but I had a lot of highs and a lot of lows, a lot of debt and a lot of well, at the time I guess I could call them regrets, but now I look back on those events as experiences I was meant to experience, and I chose to experience, and that's what spiritual awakening is. It's not um, just going out there and doing with with an agenda. It's going out there and doing just for the experience of doing and taking whatever comes with it, whether it was labeled good or bad. And I certainly had my fair share of those experiences, and and like you said, it came with regrets because in a physical in the third dimension we live with regrets and the highs and the lows. But now, in hindsight, they weren't regrets, they weren't highs, they weren't lows, they just were. And I'm grateful that I had those experiences. But spiritual awakening and spiritual, living teaches us to let go of those events and those experiences, appreciate that they were there, every now and again reflect on them just to see if they give you some wisdom for today, but don't hang on to them, let them go. And I have, and I continue to do so. um, so like I said, I didn't start off on this journey knowing right away. I always had certain beliefs and I always questioned, and that's how my spiritual awakening began, just by not accepting what others try to impose on me or try to tell me that was true or what they believed, because I did. I started to, with my different friends, I had different lives. I would, interact with someone a certain way and do what they liked, and then I'd interact with somebody totally different and do what they like. And I think I was just searching for what was going to resonate with me. So I did, I just involved myself in my friends' lives and families' lives in unique ways. But a lot of them served me and a lot of them didn't serve me. I did things I should, in hindsight, not have done, not out of regret, but just I was doing it, not authentically. It wasn't me, it was somebody else. I was trying to be somebody else. And I went on that journey a long time of trying to find out who I was. I really never knew who I was. I kept um, disguising myself as other people and taking on what they believed and what they like to do as what I believed and what I like to do. Um, just because I think I felt the need to, and I felt like, I might as well do something. I don't know what I want to do, so let me do this until I can figure things out. And it was a fun ride. It still is a fun journey. I'm still doing it in many respects, but now I do it with a knowing um, and with a purpose. Whereas before I was going with the flow, but wherever it led me, I was a guy that would be out till 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning at times if my other friends were out there and we were all having a good time, or I could be at home doing nothing or watching TV. I just went with the flow, but I always wanted to do something. Cause when I was a young kid, I was bored to death for some reason, um, and I was always angry about that. So I think subconsciously I just put myself on uh, a life path of keeping busy and just doing things just so that I wouldn't be bored. And now, it's complete full circle. Um, I don't need to do anything. I don't need to be involved in anybody's life. I don't need to be, not that I'm not involved, but where I'm not meant to be. I don't put my 2 cents in just to put my 2 cents in. I don't um, agree with people just to agree with people. I speak my truth, and but I don't disrespect anybody either. Where I had in the past, I became a person who judged a lot, and it was turned out to be I was judging myself. So, you know, my true awakening came after my friend Teddy Mack passed away, which is in 2015, and it was tragic. He was well loved by everybody. I loved him to death. He was like my brother. But it really just became a piece of a large puzzle in my life that I just started putting together. And the synchronicities after his death and my parents' death, who died prior, a year and 3 years before he did, I just started connecting a lot of dots. Um, and things just started to make sense to me. And then I started listening to myself and just really starting to see the synchronicities and the signs that were right in front of me, telling me what to do all along, to follow a certain path. And so, um, after being an executive chef for many years, I decided it was time to hang that up. And that was about 2 years after his death that came to me, and it came through a psychic reading that I had in the restaurant I was working, and the synchronicities were just too great. And I had gotten some Reiki done to me because I had neck issues, and I didn't do it out of spirituality. I did it because I thought that would help, because I had done chiropractor and I had done acupuncture, but it turned out to be very synchronistic. It was putting me on my path, whether I believed what the same thing that the Reiki master was telling me and doing to me, but there was something because you know she wasn't touching me physically in any form, but I was feeling like somebody was operating my neck at one point. It was pretty unique. I wasn't afraid, and um, I just went with the flow on that. And so that's where my journey really started. And real journey, 2015, where I started putting pieces of the puzzle together. I knew that I was destined for something more. I didn't need to be somewhere just to fit in, or I didn't have a passion for cooking that I thought I did. It was just something I was good at. So I just put myself in that position and kept myself there. And in hindsight, it kept me back. It kept me down. And again, I'm not regretting any of that. You know, could my path had started sooner and I've been, doing something different right now? That doesn't matter. I don't reflect on it. I am where I am now, and I'm very happy where I am now. And every day I keep getting signs and synchronicities, and sometimes I don't. I've gone through what they call the dark night of the soul, where, you know, just it seems like everything crazy is happening to you, and you're being put in some bad situations, and your thoughts are negative, and you almost don't have a way out, but you're exhausted, and you just don't want to do anything. You know what? Well, that's okay. You're meant to do that. That's your body and your mind and your heart trying to come together, um, for the spiritual being that you are, to get you out of this 3D matrix that we're in, and we came so willingly. But I had to detox my body. I had to detox my mind. I had to cut the cords, um, to everything I knew, so that I could really see the truth and then reassemble it, to my new path. Because when you go on your spiritual awakening, you really have to let everything go and accept that it was there in your life, and integrate it, you know, face things head on, things in your past that you didn't want to confront, that you thought were behind you and still keep coming up like history repeating itself. You need to face those things head on, figure out what is it energetically that's holding you back with these things, and let them go. Be grateful for the experiences they brought you and the lessons they taught you, but let them go, and let people fall away that don't belong in your life, even though you love them to death, to dear. But some people energetically aren't meant to be in your life, and the longer you hold on to them, the longer you stay in third dimension. And when you start your spiritual journey, you're not looking to go into the 5D, you're looking for answers. And that should be your priority. And I dove into everything. After I moved to Virginia, I just started looking and seeing anything I could. I started meeting people that were psychically connected or energetically connected that I knew I had that bond with. And we started opening up to each other, and now we're best of friends, and we're on our own journeys, but we were meant to make this journey together or help each other through it. And it's important for you to have people in your life like that, but you're going to have to lose a lot of people to find these people. So being ready to accept whatever comes is such an integral part of spirituality, is that leap of faith that I mentioned in my prior videos. You have to take a leap of faith, but you have to believe in yourself. And your spiritual journey starts when you start to accept you and start to take care of you. um, it can't go any other way. Yes, we're here to serve and to be compassionate, hold kindness and love for others, and be humanitarians and environmentalists and speak our truths. But we have to know our truths first, and we have to know ourselves better than anybody else can ever know, and not worry about what other people think. Um, that's a big key to spiritual awakening. So that is the beginning of your spiritual awakening. It's finding yourself, finding your truth, going to those dark places that you were afraid of and opening them up, bringing them to light, addressing them, confronting them, and letting them go. And the more you do that, and it's a journey, it's because you do a lot more in this lifetime than you think. And there's some things that are, you know, energetically connected to you from your past that will come up, and you need to cut those cords too. And there's so many resources on the internet for you to, you know, use that'll resonate with you. And that's the beginning of your spiritual journey should be one of discovery, one of research. Instead of, you know, if somebody tells you something that you're not sure of, look it up. And don't just go to Google. You're not going to get the answers there. Go to DuckDuckGo. Go to the library and read up on old books. And there were so many people that were so spiritually awakened back in the 20s and 30s and 40s, before, you know, this mind control thing started. Um, and that's topic for another video. But there's so much out there, and you'll resonate with so much of it. But, you know, I listen to people like Neville Goddard and Alan Watts and even Nikola Tesla, who were back in the 1900s, 1800s, early. And they were saying exactly what I know now, back then. Um, so this is nothing new. This has been forever. We've just been conditioned to ignore it and to just live a life of whatever. It's not good or bad. It just is. But so much has been hidden from us on purpose. There are people out there that know what we're capable of and how we can heal our own bodies. And with positive thoughts, we can, you know, communicate telepathically. We really can. And there's so much technology that should have already been introduced but has been suppressed, by these people who know what we are capable of. But if we were allowed to do what we can do and just live our own lives and be on our own paths and have all the natural resources we need to do so, we would never need money. But then these people wouldn't be rich. They wouldn't, you know, have the power and control that they have now if they allowed us to know what we know and what we're capable of. But this is what the Great Awakening is about, and it's part of my journey. And if you're here now and you're starting to wake up, you're here for a reason. And you'll know what your path is and your mission is, and it doesn't have to be to fight and take up arms. That's not a godly mission. That's not a spiritual path. We can win. We can take back our sovereignty in other ways through just being and giving and being united with others and showing compassion and kindness towards each other, not treating each other like strangers and different, and racism and all that. That's just all negative, low vibration. It's time to start to get out of that. And you got to start with yourself first. Once you begin to love yourself, you can love everybody else, no matter what they look like, who they are. They're on their own journeys, their own path. The sooner you respect that and stop judging them, and because what judgment is a projection of yourself. So you're actually projecting onto others what you don't like about yourself. So think about that for a minute, reflect on that, and find your own path. It's there, it's waiting for you. um, I will continue this discussion and probably another video. I'm not sure how many more I will do in this series, but I'm excited about it, and until I'm not excited about it, I'll continue to do them. But in the meantime, um, please like and share and subscribe to my channel. I'll leave a comment where you are in your spiritual path. I'd love to know. I'd love to hear. If I can be a resource to you, please reach out to me through my website, which is linked below. I am a transformational life coach, and if you need help in any spiritual matters, doesn't have to be spiritual matters, but just helping yourself. If you need help and figure out what you need to do to help yourself, I can help. So reach out to me. I'd love to help. It is part of my mission. I know that for a fact. And enjoy the ride. It's an amazing ride, and it's going to be ups and downs and highs and lows. But there's resources for any question you have out there. You just have to look and feel it and listen to those people. Not attach yourself to them, but listen to what they say. If it's through tarot readings, if it's through psychic reading, if it's through Tony Robbins or any other influencer, just seek knowledge. That's the beginning of your spiritual awakening. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed sharing what I know, and I will continue to do so because it is my mission. So I love you. Have an amazing day.